In rowing, generally, most successful people will be tall, long levers, so long arms and legs, and kind of all over strength. It's a very sort of strong, powerful sport. So this girl at university saw me and thought, oh, you could be successful in rowing. And I really wasn't interested. I wanted to do other sports at university. I wanted to do other clubs. But she persuaded me to come down and at least try out. And I made it through the trials. I wasn't particularly great as soon as I got in a boat. But the people that I engaged with then, the people that I met and that I rowed with that first year at university were brilliant, still some of my closest friends now. And I think that got me hooked at that point, and it went from there. I've medalled at the 3 Olympics I've been to, and I think the first one probably surprised everyone, including ourselves. I don't think we expected that success. And I think once we had success, there is something absolutely addictive about being successful. However successful you've been, if you keep repeating that level of training, that level of focus, those goals, you won't be able to sustain it. You need to move it on every single year. Sydney was my first games. It was just the most incredible experience. I think as much as you speak to people beforehand about what Olympic Games is, you don't know until you experience it yourself. Sydney had they had the weather, they had the country's love of the sport. All the venues were sold out. People were celebrating, in the city just having Olympic Games there. I just had no concept of the scale of an Olympic Games and the enthusiasm it brings and the inspiration. I was in the stadium when Cathy Freeman won the 400 metres, when a whole nation, well, the whole world were, willing her on to do that after she'd lit the Olympic flame at the opening ceremony. And for me, I think everything was new, everything was exciting, everything seemed 10 times brighter and more full of life. And that was kind of like, wow, this is what I want to do. This is amazing. The first modern Olympics were in Athens. So I think as an athlete, you go there suddenly aware of the history behind the Olympics and what an honour it is that you're part of that massive history. The marathon route was from Marathon to Athens. They used the original Olympic Stadium from 1896 for the archery events. The whole thing felt, wow, this is where it all began. Beijing carried with it this they had this feeling of they wanted to prove to the world just how impressive China was on a massive scale. So the buildings were just stunning. The bird's nest and the swimming pool that everyone talked about, and the bubbles and the lights they put on the building. They just thought of every detail and no expense was spared. So, kind of from a show event, Beijing was just spectacular. So I feel every one of the Olympic Games has been so different, but just such brilliant memories from every single one. I still haven't fulfilled all my goals. There's more I want to do, there's more I want to give back, and more I want to get. And I think as long as you've still got things to achieve, that's going to keep you driving forward. The obvious goal at the moment is the London 2012 Games. There's no denying it, there's no hiding from it. It's the big ultimate goal for any British athlete right now.